Hey there, guys. We're going to be going back to the final boss of the Final Fantasy VIII Vision World. And yet again, I'm going to be showing an alternate team, this time a light element team using Squall. And because I don't have my own Squall, once again, a friend of mine is going to be doing the clear, and we'll be doing it together in this video. So this time, DBarry is going to be the friend that has Squall for me, and we're going to be using his team. So you can say hello, DBarry.
Well, hey guys, this is as close to actually being a part of a Squall News video as I've been able to get basically twice now, so it's great.
But you do have Squall, and that's going to make this clear really easy, honestly speaking, because the Final Fantasy VIII units get special stat bonuses beyond the normal stat bonuses. So Squall, not only being a good unit, he has a special bonus in this Vision World because it's his Vision World. So he kind of cheats a little bit, and he gives you almost like a free win, so to speak, if you have good gear and the other light units. All right, so let's go ahead and briefly show the team, Barry. So here's the team we're going to be using. So Squall and 2B are going to be the heavy hitters. Knights of Grandshelt will also hit pretty hard. Wilk is going to be doing basically no damage, but he is our breaker. Zond is going to be for stealing the killer from 2B and spreading it. And Cecil just for making it super easy to deal with the damage. Now, I will say before we get started, Irvine is a very high damage dealer here, and you could certainly swap out Irvine or swap out Knights of Grandshelt for Irvine and deal a bunch of damage. And we are using staggered chains, so his chain hits or his capping hits wouldn't be a problem. And DBarry even does have Irvine, but I figured for people, like the video is going to be for people that have Squall. And I figure most people have 2B and or Knights of Grandshelt, and probably less people have Squall and Irvine, although there are those that do. But for those of you that do have Irvine, swap out Knights of Grandshelt for Irvine, and he'll do more damage. Alright, let's get in here and give it a go, Barry. Also, real quick, I will mention people did say that when I record it this way, the visual quality is a little blurry, and the reason for that is because Barry is streaming to me across Discord, and then I'm recording the screen from Discord to get the video. So you do lose some of the high definition recording when you do that, which is why the video might appear more blurry than my usual videos.
I'm sorry, friends. It's because you actually get to see me chain with my hands, though, just in case you think everyone who exists ever uses a clicker.
That is true. Barry is going to be manual chaining it because he's playing it from his phone as we do this. But okay, so this is going to be very similar to my previous clears. I'm really a big fan of a turn 3 clear on this fight because going beyond turn 3 just complicates things. It makes you have to add extra stuff to your party like mitigators and all that kind of stuff. So turn 3 is just smooth and easy. So we're doing a turn 3 clear again. Okay, so on this first turn, Cecil will start in the base form. We'll show the gear at the end. But let's go ahead, Barry, and have Cecil shift over. And we're going to be doing things a little bit differently this time. So we're going to cover and then omni cover. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing Sacred Art. The reason is this is an AoE light imbue. And that is going to imbue Squall with light because he's not going to have time to imbue himself. So let's go ahead and do that, Barry. Okay, so we can have Wilk do, in the shift form, Hurricane Fist, just to unlock his break for next turn. Let's have Knights of Grandshelt. They're starting in the base form, then they're going to shift, and we're going to do their LB to stack it up. We're going to do the base form LB of Squall for that bigger 40% Greatsword in Peril. And 2B in the shift form will do her LB. That's for the modifier buff. And now we're going to use Zond to Nethicite the Gravity, and he's also going to extend the duration of his light imbue we got from Cecil. So Zond's going to double cast. We're going to do Elemental Mirror on himself, and then Mystical Mirror to stop the boss's gravity. Okay. And here is the turn 1 stuff, all handled. And as far as breaking goes, we only have an 80% break from the Obsidian Bracer. But with Cecil, that's all you need. He took double-digit damage. Big whoop. Okay, so on... What was that, Barry?
He's so cool.
He is, indeed. So for this turn, we're now going to use 2B in the shift form to do her 250 self-only machine killer, which is True Charge Spear. So we're going to do that first. Then we're going to do her 140 Light in Peril, which is the True Charge, that one. And then her 150 Amplify. So this 250 killer is only a single turn. So we're going to steal that with Zahn, but not quite yet, though. So for this turn, Squall is going to go to the shift form, and we're going to get him set up for next turn. Now, we want to use 4 skills on him, but we don't have that many cast. So we're going to skip the Imbue by doing it with Cecil on turn 1, which has already been done. So instead, Squall is going to fill his LB with the Fill LB Magnus. We're going to do his 150 Amplify, and then just stay close to me for the modifier buff. Knights of Grandshell will do their 150 Amplify, and then we can do Fill LB, and then his other Magnus. You know, these are kind of redundant, but not much else to cast this turn. Wilk can go ahead and do Vengeance for the 90% break. Cecil can use Ash's STMR to seal the boss. That's power to destroy Nethicite. And now Zahn is going to Reflector for the triple cast. What we're going to do, we're going to critical on 2B. That is going to steal the 250 machine killer. We're going to critical on Wilk. That'll steal his 400% attack buff. And then we're going to spread that with Projected Mirror. And most of the party is miraging at this point from auto mirage, from things like, Minor's Trust Mastery, etc. So we Nethicited the Gravity, we mirage that, we provoke the single target stuff, and we're good to go. So now we're going to get set up for killing the boss this turn, and everyone's going to chain here. So Knights of Grandshell are going to use their shifted LB. Wilk is going to use an Extreme Nova Source. We're going to use the Vision card to make him deal a little bit of damage. If you don't have this, Wilk could just triple Absolute Mirror of Equity or whatever, but his damage, even with the card, is going to be so low. He's basically just a breaker here. 2B is going to go to the base form and do her base form LB. We're going to use the shifted LB of Squall. Cecil is going to go to the base form, and we're going to triple Absolute Mirror of Equity. And then Zahn can triple Absolute Mirror of Equity to just jump in here. Or he could do Extreme Nova if you'd rather do it that way. But we just need to build the chain count. So the chaining is going to be Squall, Cecil, and Zahn triple Absolute Mirror of Equities. And we don't need Zahn and Cecil to do it. So if you don't really want to do a triple chainer, you can just send Squall plus 1 more. We're going to use 2B and Wilk to both Extreme Nova, and all that's going to get us over the chain count score. And then Knights of Grandshell are going to cap. Now, because Barry is chaining by hand, also because we want to show you a good damage cap, we're going to go ahead and pause the video here, and we'll resume in just a second. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and do our chaining. So, Barry, go ahead and chain it up by hand.
By hand.
And we're looking for a 133 count chain. It looks like we did get a perfect chain here. Excellent. And we're looking for 18.03 or better. 20.6. As you can see, very easy damage cap if you own Squall for this fight. So there it is. So let's go ahead and show the damage breakdown real quick, and I will go over the unit per unit potentials. Also for this team as a whole, the minimum variance is about 15 billion. The average is about 19.3. So average or better, you're going to cap with this team. And then the high roll is as high as 24.6. So 20.2 or something we got, Barry?
20.6, I think.
20.6, yeah, that's slightly above average, but pretty close to average. The average is 19.3. But there it is. So unit per unit breakdowns, just real quick. With the gear we're using, the team we're using, etc., Squall will do between 5.5 to 9.1. He did 8, slightly above average, but not too much. Wilk, like I said, if you don't own the lone swordsman card, really, Wilk's damage is so irrelevant. Just have Zahn do his LB for Extreme Nova and chain with 2B and just leave Wilk to do whatever the hell. Who cares? He's just here to break. A 90 break is very good on this team. But his average is 0.3 to 0.55. He did.
Could we have feasibly used the Vilk FOMO card? Because doesn't that have a triple absolute mirror of equity skill on it?
It does, absolutely. The thing is, it's basically the same modifier as the Lone Swordsman. So really you can use either one. Yeah, if you did that, the only reason I told you to use the Extreme Nova card is just because if we did do that, then we would want Zahn to Extreme Nova with 2B, and that would require filling Zahn's limit gauge, which is not hard to do, but... Oh, actually, with Cecil doing Omni cover, it is kind of guaranteed, isn't it? So yeah, there you go. There you go. If you'd rather use the Star Piercer card, totally works fine on Wilk as well. Absolutely. And the other damages, 2B is 4.8 to 8.0, and she did literally exactly average, exactly mid-tier average. Knights is 4.0 to 6.6, and he did pretty high roll. Okay, so there it is. There it is. So let's go ahead and show the gear, Barry. And again, and real quick for Irving, if you do own Irving, your rotation would be turn 1 use his LB, turn 2 do his water stuff and his 150 amplify, and turn 3 use his hyper shot and weave it in. So there you go. So let's go ahead and show the gear of the party. So Squall in the base form is using Antiquated Uniform. It's a permanent item. You can get it from Minora. She's UOC-able. It just gives Auto Mirage for turn 2. Other than that, let's go to the Shift form and show his gear. And the Shift form is, his own STMR, some Clash gear. He is the highest damage here, so he's wearing all the best. Let's go to his abilities. There it is. Don't forget to give him Laguna's TMR if you own it. The Manly Charm. It's 500 extra flat attack for him. Some chain speed, and then just a good card for him. Irving's card, his own card, Knights of Grand Sheld card. Just something with flat attack on it. And there it is. He's maxed on everything. Let's go to the next unit. So 2B in the base form is just max damage versus machines. I think she's at max machine killer just by default. So that's pretty easy. Yep, max and everything. And then, if you own it, give her A2's TMR for the extra 500 stats, just, damage, Esper stats, chain cap up, etc. And then Shift form, you want to keep her, just give her full evade in the Shift form. Don't gear her for damage because we don't want to deal too much damage on turn 1. So just full evade her so she evades the attack on turn 2, and we're good to go. That's it for her.
It's so weird to hear someone say, not built for damage with 12k attack.
That is true. Yeah. And then Knights of Grand Sheld in the base form are using either Titus's STMR or Blades of Flame Reagan's STMR, a source of Auto Mirage. If you don't have Reagan's STMR, you have to use the chest slot for Titus STMR, meaning you can't use Minora's TMR. You can use either Riku's Wingsuit or the Oracle's Codex. Those give Auto Mirage. If you don't own either of those, and you don't own Reagan's, and you have to use Titus's, you can just give him, Wisdom of Hess for auto buffing, and he'll get hit on turn 2. It's going to deal, 800 damage. You'll still be well under the 5k, so you'll be good. And then the Shift form is just damage versus the machines. He's easy to build. He's got 200 Omni Killer, so very easy to build. And then there it is. He is maxed on everything. And then the next unit would be Zahn. Just full evasion so that he evades the attack on turn 2. I think he's our provoker as well. He is. I think he's naturally paralyzed immune. And yeah, that's really it. And if you are using him to chain instead of Wilk, then either get his LB filled by turn 3 or give him an Extreme Nova Materia or something. Cecil in the base form is using Obsidian Bracer. There you go. His own TMR for the field. And then Shift form is full evasion in the Shift form, as well as Sword of Kings, and 100 Earth Resist for the Quake attack on turn 2. And there you go. And then the last one is Wilk. We didn't use the base form, so we can go to the Shift form. is geared for damage. He's maxed on Machine Killer using, you can use either Fist or Axe, either one is fine. And then we're using the Lone Swordsman card. You could also use the Star Piercer card if you don't own either of those. Just have Wilk do his like absolute mirror of equity skill, and you'll deal even less damage. But he's not really here for damage. He's just a breaker. A 90 breaker is very good on this party because we're already getting a 140 Imperil from 2B. So the difference between going from 140 to 160 with like Lion or something is pretty minimal. So the extra break is overall more damage. And there it is. So there's a light party, super easy to cap with this team. This team, very comfortably overcaps. Turn 3, minimal variance, no RNG. So there it is. So thanks again, Barry, for letting me demonstrate a light team.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
All right, so there it is. So hopefully the rest of you can get this cap done before the end of the week, and I'll see you later on.